And
And
we
there you
are
are. We are
live.
live. You were frozen a minute ago. Was I frozen?
Yes, you were. But you won't be once we get going
Okay.
on the live. So I want to welcome everybody to our Wednesday night training. Excited to be introducing you. Everybody knows Denise, but hey, Denise is regional director on her way to national director. Got one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing team in the company right now, setting records each month. Got some amazing rank advancements going on. A lot of things happening on her team. And so we wanted to bring her on tonight. She and I have been talking about this for over a week because she wanted to share an amazing message with you. So with that, with that, Denise, I'm going to turn it over.
Okay. I think you said you're going to turn it over to me, but you are frozen. So hopefully I am not frozen because I can't really see comments, you guys. I had a little computer situation. So I am doing this live on my phone. So hopefully everybody can hear me and see me because we are going to talk about money, 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 money. And we're going to talk about money and your relationship with money, your money mindset. I recently did this training or listened to a training that was really powerful for me, a lot of which I kind of knew, but I liked how it was put all together. And what I thought was really cool was a little test, how we can test your relationship with money, which I thought was really cool. So I want to do that with you guys tonight. So make sure you get a pencil and paper. I'm going to talk about a couple of things and then we're going to do this little quiz and we'll see how you score. Okay, so money. Money is energy. And energy, like everything has energy, right? We are made up of energy. So money has energy. Your mindset, whether you have a scarcity mindset or an abundant mindset, you may have heard those terms before. And basically, what that means is a scarcity mindset is kind of when you are always coming from a place of lack. Maybe you feel like, money is scarce, money is tough to come by. And it may be, and all of us have a different situation, but having that in your mind all the time can really sort of control what the outcomes are. An abundance mindset is having a mindset where you don't believe that there's a limit to money. Like you can make as much of it as you want. It doesn't matter your circumstances. It doesn't matter if you are in a difficult financial situation right now, you still have this abundance mindset, and the universe sort of supports our need. Like we've heard this before, the law of attraction, what you put out there is what you get back. And so if you don't have a good relationship with money, you want to get one because, and I made a couple notes here so I don't get off track. Your money mindset really is kind of shapes the way that your finances are. And you might be saying, oh, come on, that's not really true. Trust me, it's true. I make this joke to my husband all the time. He doesn't really laugh. I don't think he thinks it's a joke. His mindset is not the same as me. So every time we have a bill or something big, like we just had to replace our water softener and our iron thingy mabobber that takes the iron out of our water, whatever. It was a big bill. And he's like, and I'm like, don't worry about it. We're just cleaning out. We're cleaning out the bank account, making room for the big influx. It's gonna be fine. He didn't laugh, but that is kind of the difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundant mindset. Like, it's okay. I had to spend all this money. It's all right. I'm just making way. I'm just making room, cleaning out the old stuff. We don't want to use old money. I want some new. So bringing it in. You also want to think about your resources like money, the things that you use to either make money or help you in your job or your business. and resources are unlimited as well. So we're going to do a little quiz, and that's going to give us some idea and give you some idea about where you're at and how you might think to yourself, yeah, I'm fine with money. I'm cool with it. But are you? Because a lot of times we think we're good with it and we're not really. So you want to focus on good stuff when it comes to money. So you love it. Money's awesome. Here's the quiz. So get your pencils ready. Each one, I'm going to ask you a question, and it's going to be on a scale. And all I want you to do is write down the number, and then we're going to tally it up at the end, okay? So here is the quiz. How likely are you to pick up a penny if you see a penny on the ground? How likely are you to pick it up? 1 being no way, no how, you're not picking up a penny. Are you crazy? You'll get more. It's no big deal. Or 5, you'll always pick up a penny. It's money. So anywhere 1 to 5. 1 being the least likely, you're not going to pick it up, never. 5, always going to pick it up. Okay, number 2. How often do you complain about the price of things like gas or your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, taxes, or tax? It's a crime. How often do you complain about that? 1, never. Or no, I'm sorry. 1 is often. You complain about it all the time. You can't even take it anymore. The government's sucking the money out of us. Everything is expensive. Inflation is on the rise. It's crazy. 5, nope. You never complain about it at all. You don't care. You love your bills. They're awesome. Be honest, you guys, because this will be helpful. So 1, you often complain about your bills and the price of things. And 5, you never ever complain about it. Okay. Number 3, how often do you find yourself saying, that's expensive? Oh my God, that's so expensive. 1, you say it often. 5, you never ever say it. You think nothing's expensive. You don't even care how much things are. You'll just get it. So 1, often. 5, never. How often do you find yourself saying that is expensive? Okay. Number 4, how likely are you to talk about money and finances with friends and family? Is it uncomfortable for you? 1, you never ever want to talk about it. You don't like it. It's none of anybody's business. It makes you very uncomfortable. You'll feel uncomfortable for everyone else. And 5, you don't care. You'll tell everybody how much you make. You don't care who it is. You'll talk about money anytime, anywhere. It doesn't matter to you. Okay? So 1, never. 5, you'll talk about it anytime, anywhere. Number 5. How often do you knowingly buy a lower quality product just because it's cheaper? Like maybe you're in the grocery stores and you're like, what? I am not paying that for paper towels. Are they crazy? I'm just going to get these. These are fine. Or how much are those tomatoes? Yeah, I'm not paying that. I'm going to get these because they're cheaper. How often do you knowingly do that? Do you buy things specifically because it's cheaper and regardless of the quality? 1, you always do it. Like it doesn't matter. You are getting the cheapest thing, period. Or 5, you never do it. Like you always pick something for quality and you don't care how much it costs. Or somewhere in between there. Okay, number 6. Do you say things like to your kids, if you have kids, what do you think? Money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think? Money grows on trees? First of all, stop it. If you're saying that to your kids, if you say things like that, how often do you do that? 1, you always say things like that because The kids are sucking you dry, man. They just want stuff every 5 minutes of the day. They want things that are expensive. My father used to say, go out to the money tree. So you say that often, or you never say that to your kids? Okay, number 7. How do you feel? What's the feeling that you have right before you look at your bank account? Are you like psyched to look at your bank account? Ooh, let me see how much I have today. Or are you like, oh, it's going to be a situation? What do you feel like when you are getting ready to look at your bank account? Number 1, horrible. Like you don't like to do it. It gives you a terrible feeling. It's depressing. Or number 5, it's great. You love it. You look at it as often as possible. You look to see, is there another dollar yet? 1 through 5. Which one are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Number 8. How likely are you to give up the idea of owning something that you want after seeing the price? So let's say you went shopping for a new outfit, and you're like, look at the price tag and you're like, what? Well, I thought I wanted that, but I don't want it now because that's way too much. Or are you more like, wow, I don't care. I don't care. Guess what? I'm getting that jacket and I don't care what it's going to take. If I got to get an extra job, that's the car I'm getting. I'm going to get that car right there. I don't care how much it is. That's what I'm doing. So after you see the price, how likely are you to give up on the idea of owning that particular item? 1, very likely. Number 5, not a chance. You want what you want. You don't care how much it is. You'll figure out a way to get it. Number 9, and this is a big one. Do you have plans for the money that you're attracting to yourself? Do you have plans for the money you're attracting yourself? 1, not at all. You don't have any plans at all. Or 5, you absolutely have plans. Like you are going to buy this particular car. You are going to give X amount of dollars to this particular charity. You want XYZ for your house. You want such and such for your kids. You're going to go on this vacation. Like you know what you want. You know how much it costs and you got plans for that. 1, no plans. 5, planned out to the last dime. Number 10, how often do you contribute money to charities or other people with no expectation of getting a return or a reward? 1, never. 5, every chance you get. Number 11, and I think we're going to stop here. How do you feel about people who are rich? This is an interesting story because I've heard a lot of things in my lifetime, the way that people talk about somebody that they don't know just because they're wealthy. So, number 1, you think rich people are just horrible. They're the scum of the earth. You're done with it. Or 5, you're studying them and attempting to be just like them, or somewheres in between. Okay. Now, I want you to tally up your score. And after you add it up, those answers will kind of give you a little bit of an idea where you're at. If you've scored, and you know what? I didn't do the whole quiz for purpose of time. We did 11 questions, so that would be a total of 55. If you scored a 55, man, you are red hot. You love money. You have a great relationship with money. You have an abundant mentality. You are good to go. You probably don't need to give it another thought because you are already on the train and the train is rolling. If you scored less than a 55, you got some work to do. If you scored 5 or 10, you got a lot of work to do. So I want you to start thinking about your thoughts around money. And I know to some of you, it might just sound ridiculous because everybody wants money, but really what you're thinking, the story that you tell yourself in your head, is really what happens. I'm going to tell a couple of stories. First of all, I was in another business and I had somebody on my team who she had a particular number in mind that she wanted to earn. Every time she got close to that number, she just couldn't do it. And it was almost starting to get ridiculous. Year after year, she had a particular number she wanted to hit, and things would look like it was going that way, and then something would happen, and she'd not get there. And she actually ended up, we had a speaker come in that was a psychologist, and they were talking about mindset and money and the stories that you tell yourself. And this person realized that when she was growing up, her father would take them on a drive every Sunday. They would drive around, and he would point out different areas. They would drive through this wealthy section of town, and he would say, oh, there's so-and-so's house. They got more money than God. They don't even know what to, like, and he would make unfavorable comments, kind of derogatory comments about these people. And so in her mind, she sort of internalized that and felt like if she made beyond a certain amount of money, her father would not be happy. He would not love her anymore. This was a serious thing. She actually went to her father and had this conversation and asked him, hey, how would you feel if I made X? And he'd be like, well, that would be awesome. I would be so proud of you. And she's like, really? And they had this long talk about it. And the next year, guess what? She made more than that. So it really makes a big difference about what you're saying in your head. And that's why when I said about the money doesn't grow on trees thing to your kids, don't say that to your kids. Like, you want to teach them the value of money. So if they come to you and say, that they want something and maybe it's expensive, or maybe it's the 5th thing that they've wanted this week, you might say to them, oh my gosh, that's so great. So tell me, what are your plans to get the money for that? And let them start thinking about how they're going to get it and what they're going to do. Be grateful for what's in your bank account, even if it's a small number. Have gratitude for your bills and the things, like say thank you. Oh my gosh. And you know what? The picking up a penny thing, you guys, that's so huge. And it's so funny. I took this quiz. I would never, ever pick up a penny, like ever. Because in my mind, like, what do I need a penny for? But when I read about this, you're picking up a penny because guess what? You're manifesting money. Money is appearing to you and you are totally blowing it off. That's not good. So pick up that penny, hold it up. It's shiny. Look at money came to me. I'm a money magnet. So it's a way. Things. And one last story I want to share with you. My earbud just died, so hopefully you can all hear me. One last thing that I want to share is important because I was reading this book recently called Magic Words or Words of Magic, something like that. And it talks about, she talks in this book a lot about the story that we tell ourselves in our head and how sometimes the same exact situation can be told in such a different way. And I'm going to read you what she wrote because I thought it was really impactful. She talked about reality
our reality not really being the truth, because we're not really experiencing direct reality. We're experiencing reality based on the story that we've created in our thinking mind. Okay. So this is the story she tells. In the late 60s, a baby girl was born to a young mother of a controlling, unstable father. When the girl was 5, her father died in a car accident, tragically. She had 3 siblings and was left to be raised in poverty by a very young and overwhelmed mother. Suddenly, this woman was forced to become both a mother and father to 4 children under the age of 8. During her childhood, the girl suffered a mysterious illness and spent a great deal of time in the hospital. And as a result, she lost friends and was mercilessly bullied at school. For a child with few friends, she lived in a village with no community facilities, miles from anywhere, and life was tough. Her choices for entertainment were only 3 television channels or wandering aimlessly through the countryside. In adulthood, she suffered a series of bad relationships in which she was physically and emotionally abused. She fell into a life of poverty and experienced near bankruptcy, frequent court appearances, and visits from bailiffs. It took 20 years before she finally was able to move on and pick up the pieces of her broken life. Now, this was the story. The author said, "What an awful story. This poor woman was me." And she said, "But I don't tell the story this way. The way she tells the story is this. There once was a girl born to a young but resourceful widowed mother. With no father on the scene, the mother became very resourceful. She was good at DIY and car maintenance. She also produced healthy and delicious meals from basic ingredients bought with the family's meager budget. From an early age, all 4 children were encouraged to be extremely independent. The girl learned to be resourceful, self-reliant, and was able to create her own entertainment. She was brought up in the countryside and developed a love and appreciation for nature, and the beauty that she saw around her inspired her life. With few school friends, her sisters became her close friends through an illness she eventually overcame. Her childhood consisted of long walks, loud girls, hand-me-down clothes, homemade Christmas decorations, and glimpses of magic. In later life, poor financial choices and encounters with unsuitable men left her with a canny resilience for thirst for self-improvement. The ups and downs of her varied, eventful life left her with the perfect tools to allow her to help those she loved and improve their lives. In turning her attention to others, she became richer and happier and gained a fuller life than she even thought possible. Now, the events and the characters and the events and settings of those stories are the same. Those were really true things. She lost her father. She was brought up with little money. She didn't have very many friends. She experienced abusive relationships. She fell into debt. All those things really happened. But beyond those facts, it was really just a version of the story of the interpretation. So I hope this was helpful for you, because I thought that was really powerful, a powerful story to remind us of what we're telling ourselves in our head. And you guys, just because you learn this, and maybe you already know it, I know it. I've been learning this for years and years. But knowing it and doing it, when you've been brought up a certain way, or you've gotten something stuck in your head, and sometimes you don't even realize it, it takes a lot of practice to get out of that. So you want to learn to reframe some of the things that you tell yourself, and say it in a more positive way, and look at things like everything has a benefit for you. Everything is for your benefit. As long as you see it as a benefit, you will have success. So I hope that was helpful. If you guys have some questions, I think Alan said he was going to pop back on and put them up on the screen, since I can't see them. I hope
Absolutely.
you understand what to do with your big cash flow that's going to happen.
That was awesome. 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 I have to say, some of the things that you talked about, I love a good deal. So when it comes to buying stuff at a good deal, I'm like, you said, do you just not worry about the price or look for good deals? I'm like, look at that's a deal.
Well, good deals. That's kind of different. It's different than going, say, to the grocery store and you've got to buy, paper towels, and these
Right.
ones are significantly cheaper, but they don't really work as well.
Right.
But you're going to buy them because they're cheaper. And I
And
know
you-
people that do that. No matter what, it's going to be the best deal. If they're at a restaurant and blue cheese is an extra 50 cents, they're not getting it.
There's a couple things that I'm not going to skimp on. One is paper towels, and the other one's toilet paper. So, hey, gang, that was a great training, Denise. Thank you so much for that. If anybody has any questions, feel free to type them in the comments. Or if you've got any comments other than Lisa Diaz said thank you. Shelly give a great combination there. She loves it. Audra said, you rock, Denise. This is Joe. They talked about 5. It's vacation money. I'm not. So one of the questions. Yeah. Shelly loves you too. So we had great stuff there. Debbie Stella said she used to have a scarcity mindset, but no more. No more.
It's definitely, you guys, it's a work in progress. It's something, and that's why surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, people who think like you want to think, it really is a big impact. It's just like trying to be positive and not negative. You may know how to do it, but doing it is hard when you're constantly bombarded with negative. So if you're around negative people, if you listen to the news, if you do all those things, it's so much harder a job to become positive or to be positive. So it's the same thing with this. You may know the information, but surround yourself with other people who think the same. Do some of these exercises. Try to catch yourself when you're in those modes and back it up and kind of reframe it.
Yeah, I agree. Lisa Alderman Hatch said, useful information. Thank you. You really are a natural public speaker. I've been telling her that. Lisa, she's not sure about that. Debbie Stella, that's awesome. Denise, Michelle Brick, Denise, thank you. So cool stuff. One thing that I wanted to say is, even if with your children, even if you're just kidding, don't say that stuff.
I know.
They don't know you're kidding.
It's true.
And don't say we can't afford that. You can say, well, we don't need to buy that right now. We can possibly buy that later. But because
you
it's
know what? Like you can say something like, if it's instead of saying, ooh, that's too expensive, you can say, you know what? I choose not to get that because it's overvalued. I choose to find something that that I want that has and I'm going to choose a fair price. I'm going to pay a fair price. Absolutely. Just reframing and using some different words. It takes some practice to do that, but really it's amazing what will come to you. And picking up that penny, you know what? That was a big lesson to me. I scored pretty high on this test, but that one, I never thought of it like that. Like if you are trying to bring money to you, boom, there it is on the sidewalk, a penny. Pick it up, man.
I don't even care if it's on tails.
That's right. And pretty soon you'll be just, floating in the cash.
Look at all that big money, big money. All right.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Alan. I appreciate it.
Thank you for offering to come on. I really appreciate it. Great training. And somebody just said, I grew up poor, very poor, but I spent my time with wealthy people and got my first home at 20. I love that. That's Delon. That's Delon.
Yeah.
He's got a winner chicken dinner mindset right now.
He does. He really does. And that just is proof positive, right? It shows that's really makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Thank you, Denise, again.
You're welcome.
All righty.
Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
See you.